Hey, it's Coach Teddy. Really excited to do this workout plan for you in this video. A 10-day workout program and workbook that parents and kids can do together. Should be very exciting, should be a lot of fun. You can do it in your driveway. We're not gonna let the quarantine or the social distancing or the forced shutdown or whatever we wanna call it, we're not gonna let that stop us from achieving our daily goal, to get better every day. Our mission, to help kids. Our goal, to get better every single day. But most important, we want to have fun. So the very first thing we always want to work on, and this is whether we're quarantined or not, and parents, you've got to do this as well, is we really want to work on our form, our shooting, right? Perfect practice makes perfect. So if you go out here and you start practicing the wrong things with the wrong technique and you just heave it up at the basket, I promise you, you'll get good at that. You go out front and you take long shots and all threes and you just miss and miss and miss, you'll get good at missing. We want to do perfect practice. That way when we get into games, we don't have to think about the little things. We can just do the right things. Obviously, as always, we start in real close. Hold the ball here like you're holding a tray of food. Get right underneath. And every single day, what you're going to do is try and make 10 perfect swish in a row. We call this our prep work. P, nope, back to 0. P is for your posture. You can see this perfect posture. Look at my wrist. Look at this 90 degrees. This is a flat wrist. This is a flexed wrist. This is a cocked wrist. If you have a flat wrist on the basketball, either your hand is behind the ball, you bring it down too low, or in order to get under the ball, which is where you have to be for the ball to go up, if you have a flat wrist, you gotta bend your elbow way back past 90 degrees. We don't wanna shoot like that. Kids don't remember highlight, but parents do. We're not throwing highlight here. Very simple. Shooting it up as if we were throwing darts, but the bullseye was flat. We had to throw up and land it on the bullseye. That's why we start in close. Perfect posture. We're working on R is for our spin, our rotation, that beautiful backspin. E is for our eyes. We always want to make sure our eyes are locked on the target, not watching the ball. It's another reason you want to have a cocked wrist and a 90-degree angle. If you do that, you'll see you can look at the rim under the ball. Right now I'm looking at you under the ball. Right now I'm looking at you over the ball. Now unless you grow to be 10, 12, 13 feet tall, the rim will always be above you, which means you're never going to be able to shoot down at the basket and have uninterrupted vision. In order for me to have uninterrupted vision, I got to get the ball above my eyes, locate the rim, and as I'm shooting, continue to shoot. If I shoot from down low, sure, I can shoot set shots. Heck, I can do that with my eyes closed. But if I start moving, coming off the dribble, pick and roll, coming off a pass, or even as you get a little older and defense actually tries to stop you, if you shoot from down low, what ends up happening is as you shoot, you put a hand in your own face and then you're picking up the ball. You basically are shooting blind. Really difficult to do. And that's why people with bad form also have no confidence. Confidence comes from competence. So we've got this perfect posture. We want to work on that every day. And as we said, we're looking for 10 perfect swish in a row. That's going to help us with, I said, our posture, our rotation, our eyes, but most importantly, pressure. I promise you, if your goal is to get to 5 today or to 3, because some of you won't get to 10. I know I make it look easy, but I've taken millions and millions and millions of shots. Millions. So maybe your goal today is to make 3 in a row, 5 in a row, 10 in a row. Who knows, maybe more, but I promise you, if your goal is 3, when you're at 2, it'll feel a little different. If your goal is 5 and you're at 4, I promise you, it feels a little different. If your goal today is to 10 in a row perfect swish, I promise you, when you get to 9, it's gonna feel different. Almost like you got 2 free throws, down 1 with 0.2 seconds in the game, and if you win, you're the hero, and if you lose, you're the GOAT. It's not the same. Pressure is a real thing, but only in your head. You can either be great and better because of pressure, or you can crumble and fail because of pressure. It's all in your head. But if you wait until you get into a pressure situation to practice pressure shooting, I promise you, it's like anything else, you will not be confident. I gotta get in here real close where I know if I stick with it, sooner or later I will succeed, and that way, I never end my workout on a bad note. I always finish my workout on a positive note, because as we're running right now, having a positive mindset is very important. The next part of our form shooting is our shooting game. Now this is really fun because, as I always say, having good form is more important than just making the shots. So what you can do is you can either set up a little obstacle course, anyone that you want. Kids, be creative. Parents, you can do it. You can take turns, or you can just stand right in front, catch and shoot. The idea here is we don't want to just make the shot. So if I take it with bad form, and, boy, it's hard to do like that. Oh, man. Okay, so bad form, and it goes in. If I make the basket, I get 1 point. But like we said, we're looking to work on our form. So, if you have beautiful form on your shot, and you shoot, you get a point. If you have beautiful form, and you miss, you still get a point. If you have beautiful form, and it goes in, that would be a 2-point shot. Now, we also want to have beautiful follow-through. What makes beautiful follow-through? You overdo your follow-through. Meaning I shoot, I follow through, and I leave my follow-through up there as if somebody was taking a picture until the ball goes up, goes in, hits the ground. Or goes up and doesn't go in and hits the ground. Hold your follow-through so you can see why you are or are not making the shot. So a follow-through would be up, boom, good follow-through. Right here, even though this would be good form point, I wouldn't get my follow-through point. If I did terrible form and good follow-through, we'll go with it, we'll get a point. So essentially what would happen right there is, you shoot your shot with good form, you shoot your shot with good follow-through, but it misses, you would still get 2 points for that round. If you shoot your shot with good form and good follow-through and it goes in, that would be a 3-point shot. And you'll see in your workbook how you can keep score. We also want good spin. Remember, if it has good spin, it's gonna go in. So besides being pretty, and besides being exactly what will happen if you release it right, there truly is a mechanical advantage to having backspin on your shot. There's even a small advantage to having backspin, I hope you can see this, with the pretty seams. Now you can have good backspin with ugly seams, but if you have good backspin with pretty seams, there's a big time advantage for you. So that's another way you can get extra points. So now again, if I make my shot, bad form, bad spin, bad follow through, 1 point. If I have good form, good spin, good follow through, and I miss, that'd be a 3-point score. More important to doing right than to have it go in. And what you'll find is if you do it right, it'll go in more. It's crazy. Here's the kicker. This is what you're looking for. Good form, good spin, good follow through, and it goes in. That's 4. But if you get a perfect swish, that's an extra bonus point. Boom, good form, good spin, good follow through, perfect swish, it went in, 5-point score. And you'll see in your workbook you have 10 rounds. So essentially a perfect score out of 10 rounds would be 50. Kids, beat your parents. Parents, beat your kids. Part 2 we're getting into is the layups. Now again, you want to make this competitive, and again, parents, try it if you can. Now there's 3 parts to our layups, and always there's 2 parts to those layups because you got to do lefty and you got to do righty. But we start with the most basic. Now the way we set up our cones, we call this our Euro footwork. work. Every little kid, no matter if they're 3, 4 years old or 15, 16 or whatever, everybody knows red is stop, green means go. So what we do is we set up a little blockade here of red cones, and then we set up a little pathway of green cones. Very simple. It's a good visual. Red means stop, green means go. You can put anything there. So again, there's 10 shots in the sequence, 10 for the parent, 10 for the player. What we do is you can set up an obstacle course if that's where you're at. You dribble through, you weave through the cones, anything. Just something to get you moving and changing directions. Or you can just start right here. When you come in, first step is fake at the red, go through the green. Very, very simple. You're coming in with your right hand, you're protecting the ball. Very, very simple. Now, unless you dunk the ball, you want to use the backboard, always. So the same thing goes here. If you come in, great, you made it, you get a point. If you come in and you do the footwork right, you still get a point for the footwork even though you missed the shot. If you do the footwork right and you try the backboard, too good for my own good. If you use the backboard, you do the footwork right, okay, and you miss, it's 2 points. This would be a 2-point shot. Because you tried. You did the footwork right, you used the backboard, but you missed. If you come in, you do the footwork right, use the backboard, and it goes in, you get 3 points. On this one, the way you get a 5-point bonus is if you call your shot. You come in, you'll hear it. Euro! You gotta call Euro. You gotta call Euro. Fake at the red, go through the green. Euro! And just to show you the other side, Lefty, very simple. We've got tons of videos on this. They'll be accompanying the workbook and the video. But if you're shooting a right-handed layup, you jump off your left foot. And you get 2 steps on a layup. So if you're coming in and you're going right, left, into a layup, step 2 is your left, step 1 is your right. The opposite is if you're doing your lefty layups. It just takes reps. So if I'm coming in to do my Euro here, it's left towards the red where I stop, right to the green. Euro! Now, step 2 to the layups. We call these over the top. This is a great way to really train your footwork. So like we said, if you're shooting a righty layup, you jump off your left foot. And you get 2 steps on a layup, 1, 2, which means the first step in your layup footwork, if it's a righty one, is your right. 1, 2, into it. So what we do is we set up a little barrier there, and you go through your course, or maybe you don't. It might be off a pass. We've got some passing stuff and catching stuff coming up. But you approach, you take off, you get over the cones. All you have to do if you're doing a righty layup is focus on landing on your right foot. If you focus on that and nothing else, you'll flow right into the layup. So you're coming in, up, right, left, backward. Very simple. Parents, here's a quick note. Don't set the cones up too close. One of the worst things you can do on any layup or any shot is get too close where you can't see the backboard anymore. If you get too far into the basket and you look up and you can't actually see the backboard, like if you wrote your signature up there, you'd want to be able to read it. If you get too close to it, you'd have to look around. That's not a good place to shoot. So don't set the cones up too close. The farther away, the better. Land on your right foot. It's over. Right, left. Make your shot. Same scoring system goes. Now again, you're doing 10 shots only, and you're keeping track of your score on those 10 shots. Now, if you want to do more and you want to get more makes, that's great. Spend as much time out there as you want. But I'd really like to see on day 1 what your total point score is with the special scoring for doing everything right, and what it is on day 10. I guarantee you get better. I guarantee it. There's no way you can do this every day without getting better. Now, the last part of layups is our reverse layups, the most important shot in basketball. Same idea, except you set your cones up directly down the midline. So everybody knows about the half-court line. You can't go over and back. The midline is a line that runs from basket to basket, dissects the court into different hemispheres, okay? Probably the most important line in the basketball when it comes to scoring, but that's down the road. We'll learn all that. For the sake of this drill, reverse layups, you set your barrier or your cones up right down the middle. And so here I'm going to demonstrate a lefty reverse layup. I would have just worked on my footwork with my over the tops. Okay, so as I'm coming in with my left hand, I'm going up, over, and because I'm shooting a lefty layup, where I'll be jumping off my right foot, I have to focus on landing on my left foot for step one, so that I flow naturally right into step two. Coming in, over, left, right, lefty layup. Same thing, I'm coming in, get down low, elevate, left, right, make my layup. One of the reasons you really want to focus on the land foot is because that way you can never get your feet all tangled up. Now, like I just showed you, it's very simple. If I come in and my stride is perfect, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. It's very simple. But don't quit if you screw up, because as a matter of fact, you can jump off the wrong foot as long as you land on the correct foot, make my move, and come off left, left, right. Or I could be coming in on 2 feet. Somebody's pushing on you, pushing on, take off, left, right, and finish. Very important shot, same scoring system. You get a point for makes. Even if you miss and you do the footwork right, you get a point. If you do the footwork right and you get the make, that'd be 2 points. If you do the footwork right and you try to use the backboard but you miss, that's 2 points. Got it? Very simple. On these, all you have to do instead of saying Euro to get your perfect 5 is to come in and say midline. I say it every time I score and the kids get a big kick out of it. But I'm coming over, here we come, midline, 5-pointer.